Good evening. I'm Patrick Doherty, and this is the English news on Cable News. As you can see, I will be flying solo tonight. Patrick is quite sick, hasn't been able to shake that winter weather bug, and so you're stuck with me for the remainder of the evening. All right, as is my wont, I would like to give you a little bit of update about the American football situation. The AFC and NFC champions just occurred over the weekend, and they were quite entertaining. The Falcons lost to the San Francisco 49ers, and the Baltimore Ravens, surprise of all surprises, managed to upset the Patriots in the AFC championship. So that sets the stage for a Super Bowl that actually pits brother against brother, as both of the head coaches of the 49ers and the Ravens are brothers by blood, John Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh. So it's going to be the Super Bowl of brothers, and that'll happen February 3rd, which is the first Sunday of February. Here in Thailand, it should be aired around 6 a.m. Back in the States, it'll be 6 p.m. So it should be a lot of fun. The weather, as you know, has been remaining cool, and we're going to touch upon that. The cooling trend will continue. We also have a little bit of information, of course, about the drought that is still affecting Thailand, a little bit about the border between Thailand and Laos, as well as the BOI and the minimum wage of 300 baht per day. And we're also going to give you an update on the Rohingya human trafficking report. Again, I'm Patrick Doherty, and let's hear the news. The Thailand Weather Department announced the weather will get cooler by 1 to 3 degrees Celsius from January 25th to the 26th within the northeastern region. The weather in Nakhon Ratchasima province was quite cool and foggy this morning. The director of Thailand Weather Department, Nakhon Ratchasima office, Mr. Sangad Saimai, said the weather today was cool but not cold. However, the temperature measured at Ampur Chok Chai was at 17 degrees Celsius, Ampur Pak Chong was 16.8, and Ampur Muang was 18 this morning. The director pointed that the temperature will most likely drop by 1 to 3 degrees during this weekend. Residents should prepare themselves. They should make sure that they have plenty of warm clothing, as well as if those individuals who live in less insulated homes perhaps have an outside source of heat, such as a fire or even a hand warmer. And as I myself can tell you, the morning on my morning constitutionals, they have been a little bit nippy, a little bit chilly, and I guess this weekend it's only going to drop down further. So winter came a little bit late to Korat, but now that it's here, it really is here with a vengeance. So as Patrick can tell you, she's sick because of the weather change. Please do take care of yourself. Plenty of warm clothing, plenty of liquid, plenty of orange juice as well, and plenty of rest and exercise. Okay? The drought situation is still in effect in many areas, especially in Lampang province. Many farms have been impacted. At Ampur Jaihom, Lampang province, the administration office surveyed natural sources in Tambon Muang Mai after residents in the area reported that their situation has been caused by the drought. The district contains 816 households, or about 3,300 people, and most of these people are farmers. There are 2 canals which feed the people in the district, but the problem is that now both canals are nearly dry. The situation is even worse at Mai Burn village and Bon Pai 4 village. The Hoi Mai Ta Creek is the only water resource for these villages, and it is totally dry. The local administration office of each village are trying to support the residents for the moment. At Ampur Pratai, Nakhon Ratchasima province, residents are looking for mole crickets for their cooking as water resources in the area are dry. Mrs. Tanom Kengdej, 57 years old, says she catches mole crickets and sells them for 200 to 400 baht per kilogram. As you can see there, that must be the Hoi Mai Ta Creek. It's completely dry. It would be a terrible thing for a creek that supplies the water to your entire village to dry out. Also, these mole crickets, I believe, must be well, liquid filled. If people are using them for cooking, I'm sure that we'll be able to take a gander at them in a bit. But it is the winter. It is no longer the rainy season. It's no longer the dry season. And if we're all, that must be a mole cricket right there. If we're already in the thick of a drought this summer, I'm sure we'll pack a punch. Those mole crickets right there must be full of water if people are actually using those to cook. The resourcefulness of people knows no bounds. It's quite entertaining. Mole crickets. Never heard of such a thing. Oh, look at those. They must be called mole crickets because they bury themselves in the mud. I had no idea. I don't know if I'd like to try one, but if push comes to shove, I'm not going to turn my nose up at some fried rice cooked with mole cricket water. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about the border between Thailand and Laos. There are a few passages that you can take, but the main one is in Nong Khai. The Nong Khai Immigration Office has increased narcotics and control levels at the border. This has been done to get ready for the AEC, which of course stands for the Asian Economic Community. Mr. Asami Bunrung, an immigration officer at Nong Khai Immigration Office, revealed that the office has increased narcotics control levels at the border of Thailand and Laos this year. This has been done to get ready for the AEC, which stands for the Asian Economic Community. The office previously caught 80 narcotics cases, which are as follows: 6 cases of trafficking ice, 4 cases of trafficking heroin, 14 cases of trafficking meth, 1 case of trafficking cannabis, 3 cases of trafficking kratom, and 52 cases for trafficking psychotropic substances. As Thailand is about to become a member of AEC, the Asian Economic Community, in 2015, there will be a lot more people traveling Nong Khai by Nong Khai Immigration Office, such as the office has to check intensively the border in order to prevent narcotics trafficking. Hopefully, by 2015, the office will be able to handle and control narcotics trafficking within the thousands of expected passengers. For those of you who have been in Thailand for quite some time, I'm sure that you've been to the Nong Khai border, and really any increase in security would be noticeable. As you can see there is a nice golden retriever that looks like it has been trained to sniff for drugs. It is a good thing that they are increasing security, as both Laos and Thailand will become members of the ASEAN in 2015. And so a lot of psychotropic drugs that have been caught, 52 cases, not so much heroin, which is good. Meth, the second highest at 14. So it's a good thing that they're tightening up their belts and the border to prevent drug trafficking into Thailand from Laos. The Deputy of Public Health Department said that heart disease is the 4th largest killer of Thai people, so the office has opened and will open 35 more centers across the country in the following 3 years. The Deputy of Public Health Department and Dr. Pradit Sintawanarong said Thailand has been facing heart disease problems for over 10 years, and more Thai people are killed by heart disease each year. Heart disease is currently the 4th largest killer of Thai people, taking more people each year than cancer, accidents, or strokes. In 2011, 20,130 people were killed from heart disease, and the rate is trending upwards each year. Thailand also does not have enough medical officers to treat the patients. This is the reason that the Public Health Department will open 12 medical centers across the country. 1 to 2 centers will serve people in 4 to 8 provinces. Recently, all centers are nearly completed and will be ready for operations soon. Residents do not have to wait in line at a hospital anymore, and emergency patients will be treated in a timely manner. That is worrisome to hear that the 4th largest killer of Thai people in Thailand is heart disease. I wonder what the corollary between the increase in heart disease and the increase of KFC, Burger King, and Pizza Company chain restaurants in Thailand are. It'd be an interesting case study to say in the least. Well, we have to take a quick commercial break, but please stay tuned. There will be more after this.
คนหนึ่งคนจะสร้างอะไรได้เราท่านเคยได้ยินกันมาโดยตลอดนะครับเพียงแต่ว่าคุณทำหรือยังคืออโหสิเลี้ยงมันในสมองให้โตขึ้นแค่นี้นั่นเองปลุกพลังบวกในตัวคุณเปลี่ยนประเทศไทยเริ่มต้นที่ตัวคุณก่อน
พ่อเอาอีกหน่อยนะพ่อนะ
ฉีกขยำคลี่กระดาษเป็นหนึ่งในวิธีฟื้นฟูกล้ามเนื้อผู้ป่วยโรคอัมพฤกษ์ค่ะและยังมีอีกหลายวิธีง่ายๆเลยค่ะที่สามารถทำได้เองที่บ้านเตือนคุณปู่ให้ทำบ่อยๆนะคะ
ใกล้ชิดถึงบ้านช่วยให้ทุกคนดูแลตัวเองได้แนวคิดใหม่จากโรงพยาบาลส่งเสริมสุขภาพตำบล
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It is good to have you here, and I'm glad to have you tuning in as well. Again, if you missed the first portion of the broadcast, Patchery is sadly out with the flu. I'm Patrick Doherty, and I will be taking you home from here. Talk a little bit about those internet cafes. I'm sure that we've all seen them. They're everywhere. They're almost as prevalent as 7-Elevens, and now the government is taking notice, specifically the government in Korat. Nakhon Ratchasima Department of Culture reveals that most of the clients of internet cafes are teenagers. As such, an internet cafe could become a conspiracy place for drugs and gambling. It's high time to control them by law. Mr. Sampong Wiri Rajaru, the director of Nakhon Ratchasima Office of Culture, revealed most of the clients of an internet cafe are teenagers. An internet cafe could become a conspiracy place for drugs and gambling easily. It's time to control them by law, he said. Regarding the office's report on December 31st, 2012, 1,278 enterprises are under the control of the Office of Culture. These enterprises are enterprises such as internet cafes, karaoke cafes, movie theaters, and movie rental stores. About 500 to 600 enterprises are currently running without licenses. However, the office will inspect and control them so that they will now provide services legally. The director also added that all those 884 registered enterprises are located in Ampur Muang, CQ, Pak Chong, Nonsun, Pimai, and Konburi. Unregistered entrepreneurs must now register their shops by requesting information at Nakhon Ratchasima Office of Culture. Call 044-220-766 or 044-220-898 during normal office hours. Again, those numbers are 044-220-766 or 044-220-898. And this is in case you needed to get in touch with the Nakhon Ratchasima Office of Culture to register your internet cafe. I feel that most of us who have driven by these internet cafes or even stuck our heads inside of it could easily tell you that teenagers are by and large the bread and butter of these internet cafes, and they spend most of their time, as you can see there, playing World of Warcraft or other games that I myself find somewhat befuddling and rather pointless. But enough about me. Let's talk a little bit about pork, which of course touches close to my heart considering bacon is one of the 5 major food groups. Butchers in Nakhon Ratchasima have said that the pork price will be rising 15 to 20 baht until the Chinese New Year festival has ended. After checking prices at Ma Kam Heng Market, Nakhon Ratchasima Province, pork prices are more expensive. The price has gone up by 15 to 20 baht per kilogram. All of the butchers claim that their prices became higher because the pig prices for them have become higher as well. Their price was normally 61 baht per kilogram. It is now 65 baht per kilogram. Filet prices were 130 baht per kilo, and now they're 150 to 155 baht per kilo. Pork meat was 125 baht, but now is registering at 140 to 145 baht per kilogram. And pork ribs were 120 baht, but now register at 125 to 130 baht per kilo. A few other reasons are the upcoming Chinese New Year festival, the feed for the pigs themselves has become more expensive, and the government's policy, of course, of the 300 baht per day minimum wage. The price will continue rising until the end of the Chinese New Year festival. I'm not exactly sure as to why it will stop after the end of the Chinese New Year festival. Perhaps it's the year of the pig that we're coming up to, or perhaps people just really load up on pork in preparation for the Chinese New Year festival. A little bit worried that they didn't mention the price of bacon or pork belly, but I'll go to the market myself and I'll find that out. Indeed. Chinese New Year festival is February 14th. It's something that everyone is aware of and is quite a bit of fun. I'll be really looking forward to it this year if it means that pork prices will plummet afterwards. Let's talk a little bit about that 300 baht per day minimum wage. If you've been following the news, you're aware that recently Thailand has passed the law that increased the minimum wage to 300 baht per day. Okay, the effects, the reverberations of this increase have been felt widespread and are continuing to be felt. The BOI reveals that the 300 baht minimum daily wage has affected SMEs, which stands for small and medium-sized enterprises, and that they are struggling to survive by reducing labors and manufacturing costs. Pardon me. Ms. Chutima Phumsrisawat, the director of the Board of Investment of Thailand Region 2, said in regards to the government's policy of the 300 baht minimum daily wage, many small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, have been impacted, while the big ones have not been impacted as much as they use more machines than employees. Most SMEs are trying to find alternative ways to run their businesses, such as reducing employees and manufacturing costs, or using machines instead of humans. About the projects which have been approved for the Investment Development Program, Nakhon Ratchasima Province has about 90 projects, or 28,609 million baht investment value. There are 16,041 employees. Amnat Charoen Province does not have any investment in the region. I guess one of the drawbacks or one of the caveats of increasing the daily minimum wage, it oftentimes isn't the large corporations, the Walmarts, the Tescos, that are hurt the most, but the smaller and medium-sized enterprises, excuse me, that are trying to get themselves off the ground to become one of those higher echelon businesses.